everybody. This is TJ Fowler for Skullbanger Media. I'm here with Amoral. This is Ben, and this is Ari. And they was kind enough to sit down with me and do an interview. So we're going to get some questions going here, and we'll see what they got to say. They're here at the Tuska Festival, and a pretty big deal for them. So anyway, first thing, guys, you got a new album. It came out in February. So it's Fallen Leaves and Dead Sparrows, correct? And it was very well received. Fans liked it, critics liked it, I liked it.
Everybody liked it.
Everybody likes it. So, you know, you're doing something good there. Now, listening to it, it's a very rich and layered album, a lot of complexities in the music and the compositions, and listening to it and your previous works, it's, you know, like what was it, Decrowned, I believe?
Yeah, Decrowning was our second album back in 2005.
Yeah, you know, that's a very, almost like a death metal album.
Yeah.
This is completely different. So what can you tell us about the evolution of your band and your music through the years?
Well, you know how every band says that they don't want to do the same thing twice and they always keep changing? Well, with some bands, actually, I don't really see it. I think they're making the same album 30 years in a row. With us, I think you definitely can see that.
Well, yeah.
Some people say too much, so. But yeah, we started as more of a death metal band in our very early 20s. That was the music we were drawn towards back then when we were kids, and really enjoyed playing it and writing it. And we kind of, by accident, started moving towards more melodic stuff when our ex-singer decided to leave. He wanted to pursue guitar playing more and not just screaming. And that's when we decided, let's go with clean vocals, because I think it's so much more fascinating to write songs with vocal melodies, and
Sure.
I've always been a fan of melodic music.
Right, okay.
So we found Ari, and he's been with us for the last 3 albums, so now we have 3 death metal albums in the past, 3 albums of pretty much everything and everything under the sun.
Great.
From hard rock to prog music to death metal parts, and this time around we decided to kind of focus more on the prog element.
Gotcha.
Kind of left the hard rock stuff that we had on previous 2 albums on the side, and because we all really enjoyed the last album before this, Beneath. It had everything on it. It started with a 9-minute epic prog song.
Yeah.
The second song was a 2-minute punk rock song. So in our heads at the time it made sense. Looking back, not so much.
Sure.
But we immediately after the album came out, we started playing live. We all realized that we enjoyed playing the prog stuff more, we enjoyed listening to it more, and the fans seemed to respond best for that. So why not just focus on that strength and do a whole album in that vein? And that's what we did. And apparently it worked.
Yeah, it did work. It's a very, very strong album. Very impressive. Very impressive. Now, you mentioned Ari. You came into the band 3 years ago, or
5
5
2008, I think.
Yeah. So now I know when I first came to Finland in 2012, and my girlfriend, she showed me you on the Idols competition.
Yeah.
And then, and that's my first exposure to you. So how did he come into the band? Was it through the Idols competition that you found him, or was you already in the band at that time? I don't know when the...
No. The Idols competition was like 2 years before I joined the band. But
Okay.
I knew the guys, and actually the bass player from my solo band was played formerly in Amoral.
Okay.
So he stole our bass player, who stole him from his own band.
It's like a trade between sports teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
That's how it works.
All right. Now, I noticed, if I found this out correctly, Marco Hietala came in and produced your vocals for this album. How was that possible, or not possible, but what was the process of getting Marco to come in and help with that, and what was the reasoning?
Well, he wanted to produce the vocals for the last
2 albums.
But
they've been friends for forever. They've been doing the Christmas tour for like past 10 years, whatever.
7 years.
Okay.
So they knew each other, and we always wanted to have Marco's input, but just the time schedules always clash because he's so busy with Nightwish and everything.
Yeah.
This time around, finally had a little space of time just when we were in the studio, and we grabbed him, and me and Ari traveled to his home studio, which is about the size of this table, and we spent a week there. It was very intimate, to say the least.
I'm
but
sure.
It worked.
I'm sure.
He's a great guy. Had a lot of good ideas.
It was like being at home. Pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah, eating like dinner with his family, the kids, and his wife made us dinner. It felt, it was really cool.
That's
like
great.
A home environment.
That's great. Yeah, he's a real nice guy too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, he is.
But well, okay. So with Fallen Leaves and Dead Sparrows, when you have a new fan coming to the band, or an old fan, or whoever, and they listen to the album, what do you hope that a listener will gain from listening to your music?
Just enjoyment of music. That's, I think, the reason for listening to music in the first place.
Sure.
Like yesterday I was asked, what do you think is the best time of the day to listen to this album? Is it during the night, during whatever? I said it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm not looking at the clock. I'm just wishing that that person who would listen to this album would just pick the time of the day when he has 55 minutes just to himself, with no cell phones, no obligations, no text messaging going around. Just put on the headphones and listen to the whole thing through, because as a concept album you really gotta let it sink in, the whole thing. It starts with the same melody as it ends, and there's all kinds of melodies counteracting throughout the album.
That's the one thing I noticed. It's very interesting, a very interesting sounding album, so that's great.
And there's a lot of stuff we thought that nobody would ever pick up, just we did it for our own amusement. Like, let's put 3 of the melodies that happened before on this album on top of each other on one of the later songs. But I think all that attention to detail that we thought we were doing just for ourselves actually paid off in the big picture, because people seem to really respond to this album.
Sure. Well, okay, now it's your 10-year anniversary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, of our debut album.
Okay, yeah. So, is there any kind of good memories, bad memories you want to share about that? Is there any surprises going to happen for the 10-year anniversary, or?
Well, yeah. Like, for example, today we're gonna bring out our ex-singer to join Ari on stage for the last 2 songs, and we're gonna play a big medley, like 8 minutes long, just riff after riff and parts after parts of from the first album. So yeah, we're still proud of it, though we're really crap players back in the day. I remember going to the studio very nervous, and for a reason, because it wasn't just bad self-esteem. We actually weren't as good as the songs demanded to be.
Sure.
And especially our drummer was devastated after the first few days, because he realized, like, I'm not really nailing it.
Yeah, I need to practice.
But the next studio session was wholly different, because he really took that to heart, started practicing, and since then he's been nailing drums in a couple of days.
That's great.
So it was a big learning experience.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a drummer myself, but that guy, he's not a drummer. He's a drum machine.
A drum machine.
Yeah.
A human metronome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we'll get to talking a little bit about the tour, but I hear you're starting to work on a 7th album.
Yeah. Kind of by accident.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth. Usually we take a big break between albums, like just to come down from it, like gather some more experiences and ideas and inspiration, and then maybe a year later start working on new songs. This time around never stopped. It was, I don't know why, but the second we stopped recording, we finished this one, songs just kept coming during my summer vacation. I wasn't even supposed to play any guitar. I just came up with riffs, ideas, songs, and yeah, we almost have like an album's worth of material already done.
That's great.
I don't know if that whole piece of music is going to end up as the next album or just some of it, but we're already working with all the guys on it, which I think is going to make for a stronger album, because we've never had this much time to develop an album. Usually it's pretty quick. Once the songs are written, quick rehearsals together, working on it, then recording. But this time we might be recording it sometimes next year, so we have all this time to work on it, hone it down, fine tune it.
That's great.
Drop some songs off, because like, if we learned something with this album, is that you really need to focus on the big picture. Not just write 10 good songs, but write 10 good songs that also fit good together and make for a big, proper package.
That's great. Now, getting to the tour, you got some big news on tour information, I believe. Dark Tranquility, I believe you're touring with. You want to talk a little bit about that, or?
Well,
November.
Yeah.
We've been looking for a proper tour package for a while. We've toured Europe with every single album and with different bands, and for this time around it took a while longer to find the right package of bands for us to tour with. And luckily Dark Tranquility took us aboard as main support. We get 50 minutes to play, which is actually very generous as a support band. Usually we played 35 to 45 minutes. 50 minutes we can do a proper set for the European audiences, so it's going to be really cool.
That's great.
And just 3 weeks, which seems like a short tour for us. We've done, usually it's been 5 to 6 weeks.
Sure.
But I think it's going to be really cool.
Okay, that's good. Now, Didn't you do some? I think it was at South Park, the Dimebag Forever performance, I believe. Now that's a charity event,
yeah.
right? You feel free to tell some people out there about it since it's a good cause. Yeah.
It started the year Dime got shot. That horrible incident happened. Then Amoral as a whole band was part of. They had a big show in Helsinki with a bunch of bands and musicians showing up to play a big charity event, and that was like a one-time only thing. But then some of the guys in the group started feeling like making not an all-star band, but just get a bunch of the musicians together once a year during December to tour Finland in just celebrating Dime's music and life. It was such a big influence on a lot of people here and all over the world. But for me personally, I wouldn't be sounding as a guitar player like I do sound now without Dime's music.
Yeah.
With the solo department, with his riffs, songwriting,
it was great.
Such a big influence.
Yeah.
So I jumped aboard the second I could.
It's great
to do that. And yeah, we have 2 summer shows with that project, and then December we're going to do a big show. It's been 10 years since then. Dime's death. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I'm from Tennessee, if you can't tell from the horrible accent I have. But try to ask this of all the bands to kind of make the interviews a little bit unique. But Elvis, he's a big time influence there, king of rock and roll. So if Amoral was to do a cover of a Elvis song, this ought to be good because you're the singer, you're the guitar player. So which one would you do? Either one of you.
I don't know. I do a lot of acoustic duo gigs, and we pretty much always play some Elvis songs. But
oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
But maybe Devil in Disguise.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I think we could do a really nasty and slow version of Heartbreak Hotel, like a doomy version of it. With moody vocals on top of it, like layering around.
Cool. That's cool. Okay. Well, before we wrap up, also you've got a side band, I believe, that's with some members from the Imperium and was it? I can't pronounce it. Ayana Sky.
Ayana Sky. Yeah. That's like a proper project side thing.
Yeah.
That's just a bunch of the songs I wrote last summer between the Amoral stuff that didn't really fit Amoral. And I'm like, well, we just did an album. What the hell am I gonna do with all these songs?
Sure.
So just called a bunch of friends. Like, you guys want to do an album? Like, no attachments, not a lot of rehearsing, no plans for touring, no plans for big record deals, no commitment. Just let's make a good album, and if that's it, then no hard feelings,
Yeah,
and if we enjoy it, maybe we'll do a show or 2 shows,
Sure.
or another album 10 years later. Who knows?
Okay.
But it was very weird and liberating doing something like that because Amoral is such a commitment. This is what I do year after year, and album after album, tour after tour, and I like. Just make an album. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen yet. I don't know if it's gonna get released. I don't know this or that. We're still kind of working on it.
Okay.
Just the vocals, and I think it's gonna be cool.
All right. Well, cool. Well, we'll wrap it up here, guys. Feel free to tell the fans out there where to find you. Any parting words you want to leave?
Amoralweb.com. That's about it.
There you go. Check them out. They got a great album with Fallen Leaves and Dead Sparrows. Great band. And this is TJ for Skullbanger Media, and we're out of here.